for the final. Ashley Shamedy here with Devin Harris and Jerry Stackhouse, and we just watched that entirety of the game. This is Playoff Central Live, by the way, and the Celtics led wire to wire. They did what they honestly have been doing all season long, and it was no different. Of course, a very shorthanded Miami team. No Jimmy Butler, no Terry Rozier, and you got to give them some credits and props for fighting like they did, but Boston just threw everything at them and more.
Well, Boston did what they were supposed to do. They came out with a haymaker, really knocked the heat off their feet in that first 5 minutes of the game, really set the tone, I feel like, for the game and for the series. But, yes, Miami is a shorthanded team. They continue to fight back. They're going to continue to grind it out. But I thought the Celtics were just too powerful offensively, and they continue to shoot the ball well. And if they're going to hit threes at this rate, it's going to be very hard for Miami to stay in this series.
Yeah, nobody's going to beat them if they shoot threes at this rate. But I just thought that they were, again, they looked like the well-rested team who had 10 days off, ready to prepare for this game.
The game 14-0. We thought maybe this was going to be tough from the get-go, but Miami was able to get a little bit of rhythm going, and they evened out the score to end that first 12 minutes. But anytime they went on any sort of run, Boston just kept coming at them. And, I mean, is this can they continue to do this and shoot the ball this well for the next couple games?
I mean, if they continue to, double team Tatum and really not rotate on the weak side and give wide open threes up to their shooters on the weak side, I mean, they're not going to continue to miss those type of warm-up shots. So they have to figure out, are they willing to give up tough twos and maybe, battle Tatum and Brown one-on-one floor and open it up wide. They got 49 threes, and they're 32-3 when they hit 17+ threes. And this is a team that tells me that they're going to continue to fire, whether they make them or not to get to that point, but they know they can be successful.
Yeah, I think there too, in those rotations, I think they can be better in their rotations. I thought they pre-rotated a little bit, Miami did there, and allowed the skip pass to the weak side where, you couldn't get there in time. Or I think you have to full rotate, even got to have Bam to get out to that shooter as well to get there when you got Hauser and those guys that can knock down shots. But I think the key for Miami is finding a way to not allow Boston to pull so many triggers. I mean, I think you almost want to live with them getting to twos, find a way to take these threes out of the game. They're a heavy gap team, and even when Boston shoots it so well, even one pass away, those guys can step up and knock down shots. So I think you got to find a way to guard your own. Again, you're going to give up some twos. It's probably going to look bad sometimes without not pulling that low man and allowing them to get to some easy contested twos, but you got to take the threes out of the game. They shoot it too well.
The beauty of the best of the 7-game series, they can definitely work on some things for this. But you talked about the evolution of Jalen and Jason Tatum and how they're working so well together. Do you feel like as a whole, though, I mean, it just seemed like everybody knew exactly where they were going to be on the floor every single possession. Their chemistry seemed unmatched.
And that's the beautiful thing of it. Adding Porzingis, adding Holland, these guys don't necessarily need the ball. They understand how to play off these guys. And when you have two dynamic 1 and 2 guys that are going to have the ball in their hands, but they're willing to play with their teammates, that's something that they didn't do a couple years ago. It allows everybody to kind of sit back in their role knowing that, hey, I'm going to get mine when it comes to me. I'm going to be able to take some shots. And everybody is in unison in this offense, and that's what makes them such a dynamic offense, because they can hit you a lot of different ways.
Kristaps Porzingis, 18 points tonight. He was one of the 6 guys in double figures. Obviously, he's new from the Boston Celtics in the postseason in years past. Is he going to be just a huge key for them continuing to make them run, getting over the hump in the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, he's normally in the beginning of his career, unicorn was a first or second option. He's coming here as more of a third and fourth, but really understanding his role as a team and what's needed as a stretch, 5-man, as a rim protector. And this is kind of considered the key to what they haven't had. A guy that could be able to stretch the floor. He can, guard multiple positions. And if he can hit threes and defend at a high rate along with everybody else, I mean, they still got 2 all-NBA defenders as well as that starting 5. I mean, he's just another piece that they can add that they didn't have and really make an impact on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I just think, again, like I said, where you talked about it before, when they didn't have playoff success, it was those 2 guys carrying the load. You got to force those guys to carry the load. Take the others, as Shaq say, take the others out of the game. Allow those, let Tatum go off for a big game. Let Brown go off for a big game. Try to control those other guys. If you're going to allow them to get 20-plus points as well as allow 3 or 4 other guys in double figures, you have no chance of beating this Boston team.
And the bench for the Celtics as well. I mean, you have guys like Al Horford, Sam Hauser, who continues to just shoot such a good ball. How hard are they going to be to beat if you can't even try and contain, obviously, the depth of the team, too?
Well, it's just like Stack just said. You have to make a choice between the two. If you want the stars and take the others out, but if you allow, Jason Tatum to get, triple doubles and these other guys to be able to play on the weak side, it's too many factors that you can't control. And Hauser is a guy that's shown that can shoot the ball with extreme efficiency. Had 10 threes in the game. I think he only played 3.5 quarters. I mean, you can't just let these guys get warm-up threes, knowing that they're really high successful and they're dependent on shooting that three at a high clip.
Derek White and Drew Holiday, that backcourt, how fun is it to see them, the way that they're able to compete together? I mean, they are so tough to get across.
Really, really good defenders. Those guys can guard a lot of. That's what makes them special, because they can switch late in shot clocks, and it's not really a mismatch. Drew Holiday on anybody. I mean, he can guard the 5. He's so strong. He can push guys out. That's a lot bigger than him. Making it tough, has great hands. Derek White leads all guards in shot blocking. I've seen him in the G League finals. I mean, he killed us a few years back, and I mean, I was like, man, is this kid really that good? And he's shown that he's really that good. He's come up to this next level. Obviously, he did it with the Spurs, and then when he got over to Boston, he's really been able to flourish and showcase who he really is. And he's a huge part of what they're going to need if they're going to win that 18 championship.
Let's talk about Miami a little bit. They're obviously going to make some adjustments for Game 2. Once again, they were shorthanded. No Jimmy Butler, Terry Rozier. When they went to the zone, it settled them down a bit. I feel like they were able to have some success. Is that something that they really need to lean on for the next few games?
No. No.
Okay.
I mean,
Maybe
it was
not.
fool's gold. You know what I'm saying? They got a little bit of a run out of it, but then, again, this team shoots it too well. I think you can do it against some teams. You can get in the gap and you can get back to this gap. Not with this team. These guys are catch and shoot guys, one pass and shot. They found a rhythm against that zone, and I don't think it was as successful, in the second half as it was for that brief stretch early.
I think with this Miami team, they have to figure out how they want to play offensively. I mean, Tyler Hero, with no Jimmy Butler, no Rozier, he's got to be more effective than he was tonight. But just, I think with the high-powered offense like the Celtics, you have to be able to find ways to keep up with them offensively, and they got to find out what really works and getting this guy a little bit more creative and some more good looks. 47% from the field, 38 of 81. Do you feel like they were able to get off good shots? They just weren't making it, or was the defense too hard to even do that? No, I think they got some great looks, just not able to make them. And I think some of the fatigue of playing playing tournament games and then traveling had a little bit to do with it. And this Game 1 is all about a feel-out process of what's going to work and what you can expand on, what you need to take away. But I thought they got great looks. The Celtics weren't even closing out on some of these threes, and I think some of these shots will fall, going into Game 2, and they'll play with a lot more confidence.
That's not bad numbers. Again, you look at 40, like I said, almost 47% from the field. Again, you like to see that three-point attempts, percentage up a little bit, but I thought they did a good job there. I think the key for them, when you have to watch this whole series, is offensive rebound. They got to find a way to get extra possessions. I think they have the athletes to go and crash the boards, but if you see offensive rebound numbers like it was tonight, 10 offensive rebounds versus 5 for Miami, then it's always going to be in favor of Boston. They got to find a way to get those extra possessions.
Jaime Jaquez Jr. has been a story for Miami all season long. So his rookie year and now going to the playoffs. What do you think about him in this first game so far? I
thought he didn't play like a rookie. He hasn't played like a rookie all season long. He kind of fits into what they do. He's not really rattled, plays at his own pace. But, no Jimmy, like I said, possibly no Rozier. He's going to have to play a bigger role, and I think they can play through him at times, especially when they go to the bench and he becomes a more focal point. But, I like what I saw at him today.
Okay. This was